You, the chosen ones. You are not the ones who just walk. You are not the ordinary ones. Time cannot stop you. Fate must bow to you. And now, once again, the forces are uniting. They thought themselves impenetrable, untouchable. They believed they were immune to love. But you have forced them to face a reality they never expected. There is something more powerful than their own evil. There is you. Throughout history, even the most fearless predators have trembled in the shadow of a greater power. Until you entered the equation, their carefree arrogance was unshaken. Now, in the midst of chaos, they fear you, but they also want you. You have a light that would give pause to the most formidable kings of hell. They have tried to dominate you. They have tried to test you, but the result has always been the same. You have been their greatest weakness. By subscribing to our channel, you ensure that God's light and knowledge will continue to come into your life and give you the daily guidance and encouragement you need. The big question still hangs in the air. Is this war or love? Because when a demon falls in love with an angel, all the rules change. And maybe that's the real destiny. That the demon doesn't choose you, but an unbreakable cosmic force draws them to you. Watch out, chosen ones. Even one of the most powerful minds in the world, just like them, will see the inevitable when they meet you. And this is just the beginning. Satan didn't suddenly decide to fall in love with an earth angel. The moment they met you, they lost control, and that shows control. It is a force, an irresistible cosmic pull that draws people towards you against all their instincts. It is not a choice. They have spent their whole lives becoming skilled manipulators who, like a professional puppeteer, can pull the strings and bend souls to their will. But when it comes to you, the strings don't work. The games don't work. Your determination is little affected by the techniques that have doomed countless others. But instead of leaving, they keep coming back, spinning around you like a moth too arrogant to admit that it is being drawn to the light. That's what scares them the most. They have always been in charge, they have always made the decisions, and they have always been the one that other people feared, chased after, or begged for. But with you, it is the opposite. They should have thrown you out by now, like they do with everyone else. They should have treated you as a passing fad. But they cannot do that. They are caught between hunger and aversion, between desire and destruction because of something about you. If you feel inspired, consider making a large gratitude donation of $20 or $50 to this channel. Your donations enable us to continue sharing these divine teachings with the world and bring blessing, love, and hope to those who need it most. It is frustrating, unfair, and unnatural, but they cannot leave. Deep down, they realize that this is more than a temporary obsession or just a desire. It is a change in their fundamental identity. Even if they have no intention of falling, fate has a wicked sense of humor. For the first time, people are being pulled rather than pulled by the devil. By turning 11, you can assert your heavenly protection, and in the mighty name of Jesus, no weapon will stand in your way. Their power dynamic is being upset by you. Fear, control, and the unquestionable power of their existence have been their methods of domination. Unlike you, no one has been immobilized by them, yet people either respect them or run away from them. You don't shrink, you don't flinch, you don't fight back in the way they have learned. That's what bothers them the most. They have had the power for thousands of years. When they speak, people obey them. When they travel, the environment changes to make room for them. Experience what it is really like to be chosen. You are not traveling alone on this journey. If you secretly believe that you are chosen, you are in the right place. By choosing to join, you can further your relationship with us, access exclusive information, and get the help you need on your spiritual journey. It's not just about joining a group, it's about gaining access to special insights that can change your life and help you get closer to your divine purpose. Make your decision now and join us on this journey. Claim your right to be one of the chosen ones. Sign up today. They are used to being the storm, the force that manipulates reality. However, you do not bend, you do not crumble. Worse, you appear unaffected. Even though they have faced saints, rulers, and warriors, no one has shaken them as much as you have. Because instead of resisting them, you face them without even trying. They cannot come to terms with the paradox of your solitary existence. Why don't you feel fear? Why don't you collapse like the others? They never had to doubt themselves before, but now every interaction with you erodes their confidence. You make them realize something they have never had to face. Their power is only effective when others submit to it. But you do not submit. Because you are what they cannot touch, you stand there calmly and fearlessly, not defiantly. And that makes a big difference. They should despise you for that. Maybe they do. But they cannot run away from you, because deep down they know that if you can shake them, you can take them back completely. They serve as a means of control. It is who they are, not just what they do. All their interactions, connections, and relationships have always been on their terms. People listen to what they have to say. Others adapt and migrate. Before a single word is spoken, their presence can determine the outcome, all the way to you. You do not respond appropriately. You do not surrender. You do not hesitate. You do not break under their influence. Because they expect it, you don't let them take the lead. And this is both exciting and disturbing. They are aware of how their influence should reshape you, change you, transform you into something controllable. However, it doesn't work that way. No matter how close they come, no matter how hard they push or how many times they try, you don't give in. Then they come to the terrifying realization that they are no longer in control. For the first time, they are the ones who are drawn into a game they don't know how to win, drawn into feelings they shouldn't experience, thoughts they shouldn't think. Because you are not participating, they cannot use the same strategies, techniques, or pressure that have always been effective. They convince themselves that they can leave, that they can take back control, that this attraction is just an illusion, and that with a little more effort they can overcome it. But in their hearts, they know that if they could, they would be long gone by now. But they cannot do it, because they are no longer in control, and for the first time in their lives they are not sure how to deal with it. If you want to express your faith in Jesus, press 22, because His presence brings a stillness to your soul. You were the first soul they couldn't break. They have broken the strongest wills, led the righteous astray, and turned saints into sinners. The masterworks they have built over the ages through power, deception, and seduction are corruption. In the end, every soul they have touched has collapsed and succumbed to darkness. The rule has always been that everyone eventually violates it, but not you. Whispers, planned corruption, even the full force of their deepest temptations, they have tried it all. Yet none of it has been effective. You do not falter, you do not stumble, you do not show any weakness that could allow them to get in. You are also not resisting them in the way they are used to. Most people face temptation as if it is a battle to be won, but you exist in a way that neutralizes their strategy. Instead of using force to resist them, you trivialize them. It haunts them. That's what makes them come back to you, try again, try other approaches, and wait for you to make a mistake. Because if you don't, if you are really infallible, what does that mean for them? It shows that they are not as strong as they always thought they were, that they are facing something bigger, and that is not acceptable. So they try harder. They sharpen their words, twist the facts, and create storms in your life to test whether you will eventually falter. But all they achieve is to show themselves that you are something unique and unattainable. And this realization secretly terrifies them. Because maybe, just maybe, the light is more powerful than they would like to think unless they can corrupt you or turn you into something darker. They are forced by you to face their own emptiness. They have dedicated their lives to building an empire of power and creating an impenetrable universe. They conquer, take, and leave destruction in their wake. They fill the void by devouring others and making sure that no one notices the emptiness inside them. Then you come, and suddenly they are no longer the hunters. They are the hungry ones, not the stealers. You are more than just a part of their environment. You are a reflection, pointing out the flaws they have neglected. With them there, the distractions cease to function. When the turmoil in their minds calms down a little, they can hear the sound of their own nothingness, the one thing they have been avoiding for eternity. They desire you because when they are with you, they feel something they cannot explain, not just because they want you. There is a warmth they cannot define, an attraction that is deeper than control, and that they have mocked, rejected, and ignored all their lives. Truth, wholeness, and peace. Moreover, this makes them angry, because it shows that their power, their control, and their meticulously built fortifications are never enough. It shows that they are not as complete, invincible, or self-sufficient as they once thought. It shows that they are incomplete. Worse, they want what you have. But tragically, they cannot cope with it. They can steal countries, lives, and souls, but they cannot take away what completes you. Because it is not possible to steal what you have, they have to develop it. Moreover, they are not sure of their abilities. Your love is a mirror reflecting their own brokenness, not a sign of weakness. Love has always been seen by them as a weakness, a diversion that causes blindness, a bond that binds, a fragility that can be exploited. They wield love like a weapon, something they manipulate and never give up. However, your love is not typical. It does not follow their rules. If you are moved by divine inspiration and want to contribute to God's victory on earth, act now. Make a generous contribution of $100 or more by clicking the Super Thank button below. Remember that this is not just a contribution, but a step towards sharing God's light. When put to the test, it does not break, chain, or beg. It sees them, it survives, it stands, and that is the one thing they are unprepared for. Because when they look at your love, they see no power. They see nothing over which they can exert control. They see themselves, bare, completely shattered and raw. No one has ever seen them as you see them, without fear or deception or the urge to be someone you are not. In this glimpse, they cannot see the demon, the terrible tyrant, or the untouchable power that manipulates the universe according to its desires. They see something empty, a creature that has been running away from love for so long that they cannot face it without falling apart. Your love does not weaken them, it exposes them. It makes them doubt every barrier they erect, every decision they make, and every disguise they put on to convince themselves that they are complete when they are not. And they are afraid of that, because true love requires change. Moreover, they are not always sure of their ability to be something different from who they are. They keep testing you, hoping that you will break like everyone else. They have no faith in love. They don't believe in goodness, purity, or the light that never goes out, because in the end, everything breaks. Every soul has a price. Every heart can be touched, tainted, or broken under the right circumstances. They have demonstrated this so often. So what makes you different? That is why they test you, they push you, they pull you back, and then they come back colder, sharper, and harder. They create storms to test whether you will drown or not. They put obstacles in your way. They seduce you. They poke holes in your defenses and look for that one vulnerability that will cause you to break. Because no matter what they think, if they can discover it, if they can bring you down, it is still true. Then the darkness they have always known is no stronger than love. But every time they try, you stay. You don't fall apart. You avoid becoming what they expect you to become, avoid falling into their traps and being crushed under their weight. And that is the deadliest thing they have ever faced. Because if you don't break, they might be wrong. Maybe some souls are impervious to being broken. Maybe there is an unbreakable love. Maybe some light is impervious to the pressure of darkness. And everything on which they have based their whole life, if that is the case, if you are sincere, begins to crumble. They don't put you to the test so that you fail. They test you because secretly they want you to be real. The more they want to control you, the less they become themselves. They have spent their entire eternity stealing, claiming their dominance and controlling others. Instead of just wanting, they have. Ensuring that nothing and no one escapes their control is the basis of their existence. But you will not be owned. At first they see you in the same way as everyone else, something to be subdued, something to be taken over, something to be turned into something controllable. But the more they try, the more they come to the terrifying realization that you are slipping away. It is not because you are running away, it is because you cannot be controlled. They cannot realize this. They are used to others submitting to them, surrounding them, and gradually giving up. But you are determined, not out of disobedience or arrogance, but simply because they cannot take you. That's what drives them crazy. As they try to claim you as their own, they feel a change in themselves. They start to lose control. They lose their confidence. Their trust, which was unshakable until now, starts to shake. This is not ownership. They have never experienced anything like this before. It is more dangerous, more all-consuming, more uncontrolled. This is love. Moreover, love is not about possession. Love requires giving up. Love requires vulnerability. And the only real decision they have is either to let you go or to lower yourself the moment they realize they cannot have you. But they have already fallen. That is the truth they don't want to accept. And in their attempt to steal you, they have lost the one thing they never dreamed of losing: themselves. They can no longer pretend that love has not affected them. In the past, they have seen love crushed, twisted, and turned into something powerless, ridiculous, and manipulable. For them, love was at worst a responsibility and at best a tool. However, this is a wound they can no longer heal. This was never meant to happen to them. Love was not the plan. They turned themselves into something immune and impervious to harm. But now the very essence of who they are seems to have been attacked. At first they objected to it. They convinced themselves that it was a temporary preoccupation, an obsession, or a curiosity. But the more they tried to make sense of it, the deeper it settled into them and wouldn't go away. They were supposed to have control over love. But it cannot be controlled. They have been penetrated by you. The way they think about you when you are not there, the way your voice stays in their head longer than it should, the way they pause before they hit, before they speak, and before they leave are examples of this. These are not interchangeable, and this is not acceptable. They convince themselves that they can stop it, and that when they wake up, you will only exist as a faint memory. But in their hearts, they know that day will never come, because the places they tried to keep empty have already been occupied by love. They can no longer pretend it never happened. You are the one thing they can never destroy. That's why they want you. On purpose or by accident, they destroyed everything they loved. They always leave destruction in their wake. That's how they are. They are not left alive by humans. But you are standing tall. They have pushed you. They have tried you. And they have torn the edges of your soul to find the point where you will finally crumble. But no matter how much they take away or how much they try to shake you, you continue to stand. You are not falling apart. You are not breaking. And they had never experienced this before. That should make them angry. And maybe it did in the beginning. But now it's eating them up. Because what does it mean for them that they can't crush you into dust like they do everybody else? It implies that not everything is open to corruption. It shows that light is not as fragile as scientists first thought. It shows that love exists and, even worse, outweighs them. This is why they miss you. Not only because they want you, but also because being close to you proves them wrong. You are a reality they cannot ignore, a paradox they cannot eliminate. And maybe, just maybe, this is what scares them the most. You are the only one who can make them doubt their own self-worth. They believed they could not be touched. They believed that nothing could change them. They had a firm belief that they understood exactly who and what they were. Then they came across you. They don't know anymore. For the first time, you made them doubt not only love or power, but everything, even their whole existence. Before you there was no question, no hesitation, no second guessing. It was in their nature to do what they did. They just were. They did not think. They did not ponder. However, you are stopping them. Every time they look at you, every time they feel something they shouldn't feel or retreat when they should attack, a question arises: what if I am more than that? This is a risky, unattainable questioning. They should not have such a thought, and they cannot afford it, because if they put too much emphasis on it, everything will fall apart. It will show that they are not as lost as they thought at first. Perhaps, just possibly, it will imply that destruction is never final. And if true, what does that make them? They may try to suppress it, to revert to their old selves, to bury doubts, to burn questions and pretend they never met you. But they won't do that, because deep down inside they don't want that. And this is the most dangerous change. They would burn the whole world to be close to you. For them, love has never been a gentle thing. It is not a soft touch, a whisper, or a calming feeling. It is a war. It is driven by hunger. It is destruction. And they will burn everything in their path for you. They have never understood boundaries. They take things at will. They destroy everything in their path. The world's balance, morality, or reflections are irrelevant. Not to you. Nothing has destroyed them as much as you have. They are now exposed, vulnerable and longing because you have reached the very heart of who they are. And that is not good. Because true love requires surrender, and they refuse to give up. So they consume, which is what they know best. They pull you closer, tighten their grip, and make sure you cannot escape. But even this is insufficient, because they are no longer in control, and this is a terrible truth. You are the first thing they can't have, the first thing they can't bend or break. Then the desperation begins. If they can't have you the way they want you, completely, permanently, and without a doubt, they will destroy the planet until only you remain. If they want to keep you with them, they can destroy everything, bring heaven to its knees, and turn hell into a wasteland. It is not that they don't love you. On the contrary, they love you too much to let you go or lose you. However, would you allow it? Because love without choice is not love. You were never designed to be imprisoned, no matter how much fire they bring. You were never just an angel, you are the catalyst. They believed they knew what you were. An angel, a lighthouse, a delicate object that could be shattered or healed. But they were wrong. You never came to heal them. You came to make them uneasy. They cannot ignore the paradox of your mere presence. They expect you to be soft, but you are not. You don't beg and plead and crumble under their shadow. You stand up, and when you stand up, you make them look. Passivity was never designed for you. They never wanted you to be something they could eat and then throw away. You have the power to break people from the inside out. You are a catalyst. Before you, they were unquestionable, untouchable, and absolute. However, skepticism has already begun to set in. Now they are pausing. They are now questioning whether they can really be saved and whether their path is really as clear as they thought. And that is why you are dangerous. Not your goodness or your purity, but the fact that you make people doubt everything. Even if you don't want to change them, your presence does. Because if the most powerful force of destruction can feel the pull of something greater, if the greatest darkness can be shaken, what else can be imagined? It is not your purpose to protect them. You are here to confront them, to dispel the myth that power is paramount, and to remind them that even the most powerful people can fail, not through coercion or confrontation, but through the quiet and indisputable power of truth. And now, they find themselves on the brink of something they cannot define, something they both want and fear. Because maybe, just maybe, they are not beyond saving if you are sincere. Ultimately, they are not sure whether they want to become you or worship you. Their feelings for you are complex. It is more than simple love. It is an obsession. It is driven by jealousy. There is no term for this hunger. It's because you have everything that others don't have. And this is a problem. They have forever believed in their own power and self-awareness. But then you showed up, undaunted, uncompromising, and unaffected by the gloom they have always lived in. Suddenly, they were the ones who felt small. You hurt them in a way they could not understand. Because when they look at you, they see not just someone they desire, but someone they can never be. You are the proof that love is not a weakness, but something impenetrable, unbreakable, and infinite, that power is more than control, and power should not come from destruction. Therefore, they cannot make a decision. Do they want to swallow you, or do they worship you? Do they want to be like you, whole, pure, something they were never meant to be, or do they want to cling to you? It should be a simple decision. However, it is not. In reality, they will never be you. No matter how much they want your light, they will never be the same. And that's the whole tragedy. They not only want you, they want your things. However, some things cannot be taken away. Not everything can be faked. Some things just are. And therefore, loving you may ultimately be the most painful thing they have ever experienced. In the end, the love that was never supposed to happen was inevitable. It was never supposed to happen. They were never supposed to falter or be swept off their feet or need anything. But you have disproved all the rules, convictions, and indisputable truths they had previously believed about themselves. You were more than a passing fad, another victory, or another name etched in the ashes of their history. You were the only contradiction they could not resolve. They failed to break the first spirit. They could not extinguish the first light. The first love that, despite their darkness, remained firm, untouchable, and unquestioned, instead of succumbing. Now they have to face the fact that you have changed them. It makes no difference whether people resist it, reject it, rage against it, or set the world on fire to escape it. Because the moment they met you, the moment they felt something beyond ownership, power, and control, they lost. Not in the way they knew or feared, but in the deepest, most painful way imaginable. Because love, true love, does not destroy. It makes no demands. It does not work. It changes. Now they stand on the brink of something they never knew. The abyss is now inside them, changing, rewriting, and bending what they believe to be true. So the question remains, will they resist or will they collapse? Not collapse, but something much more terrible. For the first time in eternity, they have to fight the one conflict they have never been able to overcome. The conflict between their past selves and their potential selves. Moreover, you were never just an angel. You were the love they could never have but could never lose, the storm that tore them apart, and the fire they could never extinguish. And that will always haunt them. If this narrative has captivated you or evoked a real emotion in you, don't let it end here. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next episode. If this spoke to you, please leave a comment below and like the video. Share with us your ideas, hypotheses, and even personal love stories that have changed your life. Additionally, share this with anyone you know who will undoubtedly feel this way. Together, let's create an environment where we can explore the most profound and dramatic stories. This is an awakening, not just a fairy tale. So stay with us. There is much more to come. May you be blessed.